I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
Missy.
I am well, assuming command is going to load for me,
Uh-oh.
right?
Okay.
Seems like we might have the joys of training tech in a live environment. Oh, there we go. All right, we'll give everybody another minute to get here. It looks like most people are already here.
Lori.
Yeah,
Um, I'm in my command.
yeah, I can't get in.
I just had
Maybe
to
because
close.
I'm in and it's only going to let a couple people in at a time.
I can't get in mine either. I've been trying to log in for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
I just attempted to log in. It wouldn't even take me to the page. I closed that window browser, opened up a new browser, went back to it, and it did let me in that time. So I did get a message that KW Connect was down about a half hour ago. So it could be a little glitchy at the moment. The joys of live technology training.
Well, and I've been logged in all day and I never logged out. So that might be why mine didn't give me a problem. Not that it hasn't given me problems, but just saying.
Well, and mine doesn't look like it is fully loading. There's some widgets down, it looks like. Let me pull up a status page real quick.
Mine keeps saying I have an invalid username and password.
Because you're
That's
Um,
what mine was saying. And it lets me get into Access KW, but not that one. It lets me change the password, but then not get back in.
Yep. So it looks like there is currently some systems are experiencing issues, is what it's saying. And what that means is we might have trouble in specific applets, or it could be chunks of people within the company are intermittently having access. So could be a number of things across the board. Hopefully, I'll be able to get through what I need to on my side to at least demonstrate what we're going to do. But there is a temporary, it looks like, at least partial outage. But my dashboard is loading, so we're going to go with it. All right, guys, welcome to day 4 of compliance and command training. We're going to dive right in and learn how to take our documents that we e-signed or created for signature yesterday and drop them into the compliance module. So if you have not joined us earlier in the week, at this point, we've now created a contact. We've turned that contact into an opportunity. We've created documents and sent them for e-signature, and now it's time to submit them for compliance to Lori as the broker for her approval, because we want to make sure that that active listing is in compliance and she's aware of it even before it goes under contract, right, Lori? She's just shaking her head. So same with buyer's agency. On the buyer side, we want to make sure those buyer's agencies are submitted and signed off on and approved prior to you out there, or as close to prior to you going out and showing houses, preferably not submitted at the same time a contract is submitted. However, there are circumstances that does happen every now and then where you sign buyer's agency and go under contract very quickly with someone. But keep in mind, you are supposed to submit buyer's agency when you have it in the beginning and start working with that client, not when you're submitting the contract. Just keep that in mind. That's what Lori's preference is as a broker, to make sure that it keeps us all within compliance. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And everybody should be seeing my command dashboard. I get a thumbs up from a couple people. Awesome, great. This morning we had a little issue sharing screens. It does look like my compliance side of the module is down. So as far as when I say compliance side, I mean the approval side So I won't be able to show you an approved package today as far as exactly how the process works, but I'll be able to get really close and you'll understand the process of what happens. But I do not have access to the approval side right now to fully demonstrate that. Just keep that in mind. I'm
I can
in
work
the
on getting
opportunity.
if you want me to, Andrew, I can work on getting the video to the right spot from earlier, and we can share that if you want me to.
You're good. I've got a workaround. Thank you. So we're in the opportunity dashboard. For those of you that don't know how we got here, it is the handshake on the left-hand side. Remember, you can click the red KW. It'll show you the names of all the applets as well. I'm in the opportunity dashboard, and we were creating a listing package as if we were selling the office as a resale residential property. So it's in the active now. I moved it there because I have document signed. I've got it active. I'm going to submit it for compliance. So I'm going to click the active bubble. So it'll take me straight there. And we're working with Jill and Jane Baker. I'm going to click the name of the opportunity to open that up there. And up top in my selections, I've got details, seller profile, documents, offers, commissions. I'm going to select documents. This is where we were yesterday. And inside of here, I now have a checklist selected. So for those of you that don't remember how we selected this checklist yesterday, we're going to go an overview of this part of the module, and then I'll show you how to attach the documents from your room. Excuse me. On the left-hand side, where it says residential resale, this is what we talked about yesterday. There's a drop-down arrow, and there are 6 different types of checklists, if you will, for documents to be added and uploaded for compliance. Remember, we're treating this one as a residential resale. If I were to select any of these other ones, it would adjust this list of documents that are required to make sure that it's compliant. Just like the .loop checklist used to do, you no longer have to fill out the .loop checklist because this suffices as that same checklist. I'm going to stay on residential resale. Underneath that, I've got 3 folders listed, under contract, and closed. The buyer folders are named slightly different, but there are still 3 of them. The first one, I believe, is consultation, then under contract and closed. And that's because you'll do your buyer's agency in the first one, go under contract, and then obviously closing at the end. The listed folder has all the listed documents necessary, and you'll submit each folder individually for approval. Then the under contract folder, it's going to change the list of documents over here. And then the closed folder, again, will change it. And the only document required there now, because you will no longer have to upload a green sheet, will be your ALTA or your HUD statement. And then underneath that, you have a custom folders menu. This is where you can add custom folders specific to you. Only you will be able to see the documents in custom folders, or anybody on your team that has access to this opportunity. And those folders are for things like listing photos, inspection reports, or any other documents pertinent to this transaction that are not required for compliance. They can go here in these folders. You can have as many folders as you want and take up as much storage as you want. What I'm being told is this is an unlimited, essentially, Dropbox where you can put all of your documents for this specific property and opportunity. So I'm going to go back to the listed folder, and we're going to jump over here to this window to the right of that and talk through this. Now I've got 0 of 8 documents currently uploaded. You'll notice each document has the name of the document as we know it as a form. It's got whether it's required underneath it, conditionally required. If it's conditional, it tells us what the condition is. And then if it's optional, it will say optional, like the square footage verification. However, based upon recent stories I've heard and stories we all know from the past, it is highly, 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 highly recommended that you do a square footage verification. If you don't have a survey or something that gives you the square footage verification that someone else gave you, we would recommend as a market center that you do find someone that will measure for you, that is a source to make sure that that document or that square footage is verified to protect you and the brokerage and the other side of the transaction and make sure that it ultimately goes through. So these documents are not uploaded yet, as you see the status on the left. You've got the document type, and then over on the right, you have where we can add a file. So for this agency disclosure, I'm going to show you how to add an individual file, and then I'm going to show you how to attach multiple files at the same time. So the agency disclosure, I'm going to come over here to the right and click add a file. And it's going to pop up a window, and it's going to give me 3 different options. If you also have a .loop account connected, it might or might not show .loop. It looks like they're starting to filter that out because I do have a .loop account connected and it's not showing up here. So I can manually upload a document. I can upload it from DocuSign, or I can upload it out of a custom folder. I can also drag and drop or browse on my computer from right here. Do keep in mind you can only upload PDFs, just like in .loop. No JPEG images of earnest money checks. They have to be converted to a PDF. So manual would be, let's say you had physical signatures on site at your listing appointment and you scanned it in. You do not have to put it in DocuSign first unless it needs another signature. Like the exclusive right to sell, you would need to add to DocuSign and send it to Lori for signature prior to adding it here. But this is going to be a change for most of you. You're used to putting all of your documents into .loop and then just being able to send Lori a note and say, Lori, can you jump in here and sign this document? Like we talked about yesterday, you can't do that anymore. You're going to have to send that document for signature inside of DocuSign to her to sign and then put it into the command compliance module. So just keep that piece in mind. Now I'm going to go grab this agency disclosure, and it is in DocuSign. So I'm going to select the DocuSign bubble, and it's going to change below. And now I have a listing of every document that I have inside of my loop, or not my loop, but my room. You get the right term there. And you'll see that I have multiples of the similar names. So I have 2 disclosure of brokerage relationships, but you'll notice one is signed and one is not. So I'm going to select the signed one and I'm going to assign it. And that document is now ready to be submitted for compliance. However, I want to go ahead and attach all the other documents as well and submit all of them at once, or at least as many of them as I have. And I don't want to have to go through and select add file, find the document, add file, add the document. I want to attach all of them at once because I know they're all there and ready to go. I can click this above the list, this attach multiple files, and it's going to pull every document in the list. I'm going to select DocuSign, and it's going to pull up a drop-down box for every one of them. And now I can go through and find every document. Here's my exclusive right to sell that's signed. Here's my MLS input sheet that is signed. I'm going to go find a property disclosure that is signed. Maybe I have one. There it is. And I did not do a lead-based paint on this because it was built after 1978. And I did not go grab the tax printout or the MLS printout for this. We're going to go ahead and attach the documents we've selected. It's going to drop them all in. And now we're going to assume I have the other documents I need. We're going to submit this to the Market Center for approval. Before I do that, because it's going to lock this side down a little bit with what I can do, are there any questions from where I'm at so far? No? Got it. You guys are quiet. The other thing you can do here is add a comment on the folder. So you'll see now the other change that's made is over here on the left where the listed folder that we're in, it now says open. It didn't say anything before. It's now open because there's documents added. So we now have an open compliance case, if you will. And this is where eventually, once the entire listed folder or listing package is approved, it will eventually say approved over here. And each of these documents will eventually say approved once we've met all the compliance requirements. Let's say I have an addendum or something that is not in this list. I can also add an additional item here. And so I'd click add item. I can name it however I need to, the document type, any notes about it, and I can upload it, pull it from DocuSign or a custom folder. Got a question in the chat. So I just got a message. Some people are not able to get onto agent.kw.com. There is some intermittent issues with Command right now. It just so happens you're probably in that group. I would close your browser window, open a new browser window, and attempt to get back into agent.kw.com. They are having some issues right now on the KW platform. The other thing we can do is add comments. These comments are for Lori to see. I found this out this afternoon after this morning's call. You can also have messages here to people on your team because let's say I can pull Sarah Penn out here. Let's say she wanted to send a note to Amy to review documents before she submitted for review. She could go at, and she would be able to type Amy's name here because Amy's on her team. I can't type Amy's name. I can type people's names that have access to the compliance module. If I do at Lori, when I tag Lori here, it's going to send Lori a notification via her Kelly app that I've sent a note. So I could say at Lori, and I could say, please review listing package, because when I submit it for review, it's not going to send her a notification. She's going to be logging into Command on a regular basis to look for approval and compliance, and they're working on notification methods to get that to her. Just keep in mind, have patience as we transition. She is going to be checking regularly throughout the day as we transition over. However, right now she's going to still be checking two platforms, both .loop and compliance and Command. So be patient with her. If you haven't seen something in a reasonable amount of time, and by reasonable I mean 24 to 48, 1 to 2 business days, then feel free to shoot her an email and just say, hey, don't know if you saw I submitted a compliance request in Command. Can you please review? Because remember, this is a learning curve for all of us, including the leadership team at the office. So I'm going to go ahead and add that message, and I'm going to exit that and submit it for review. It's going to ask me, am I sure I want to submit it for review? I've now submitted it, and you'll notice 2 things have changed, or 3 things really. Over here on the right, it now says submitted, and I can no longer retract that submission. She has to return it to me or approve it. Over on the left-hand side of the folder, it changed from open to submitted, and there's a message bubble next to it because I submitted a message to her in the listing folder. Now we would wait for Lori to review these documents, and if she could reject them, she can approve them, and she can adjust the name of your folder from submitted to returned or approved. Now, again, like I said, I don't have the ability to show you in a live version exactly how that would work, but what I can do is go back to the one from this morning and show you what it looks like when she would return it. As soon as my pipeline loads. Any questions while we're waiting on that?
Andrew,
Yes, ma'am.
will you at some point go over how to import from .loop?
Yes. Importing from .loop will be on a case-by-case basis. But yes, I will go over that. I'll make a video for that and send the video out to everybody that needs. So in the event you need to, you can watch that video. And we'll talk about more of that tomorrow in the last class about what are our next steps now that we know how to do these things. But good question.
Andrew?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Linda. So I have a question, and it might be me, or it might be something, I don't know. But my opportunities aren't showing up right. Like my listings are showing up under the team, and my under contracts are showing up separately under me, even though it's assigned to me. Like the things that are assigned to me are not showing up on my dashboard under me. They're showing up under the team. Is there a way to make that stop? Because it's very confusing. Or maybe we
Yes.
should do that privately on the side?
Yeah, let's take that offline because I'd love to learn more about that.
Okay.
I think I know how to fix it pretty easily, but I don't want to speculate too much and take everybody else's time. But yes, let's dive into that.
Okay. Then the other question I have is, will we have branded forms? Or are
That
we
is
just
a
gonna use
question.
STAR?
That is a question I'm trying to find out. Don't believe we can have branded forms because of the way they're licensed. These are licensed as Keller Williams as a whole. So the documents that we have in our document library are the same documents that the other two market centers in Columbia have.
But could we build our own folder out of the ones that were in .loop?
I cannot on the market center level. I'm asking for that permissioning. Right now, I'm not being given that.
Okay.
You could build your own if you know how and want to dive into creating your own templates. You just have to make sure that your documents stay up to date.
Okay.
Yeah. The goal is to have it as a market center as a whole. I just can't guarantee that yet.
Okay. And those will be fillable PDFs and the fields can be assigned to autofill, right?
Yes, you can set templates up for them to autofill. Yes. And they are fillable. And they are all pre-tagged.
Okay.
So as you get in there, if you find a document that a field is incorrect or a tag is incorrect, please email me exactly what document and where, and I will get that fixed ASAP.
Okay.
I cannot fix them on the site level. I have to submit those to DocuSign for changes. Most of the state forms have already been fixed because there are other market centers in the state that have been using those. The local forms to the MLS and CCRA, we are the first market center to transition in Columbia, so we'll probably be the ones to find the errors. Hopefully there's not very many. I haven't found but one or two so far. So please let me know as you find those. You can see on my screen now, this is the listing from this morning. I submitted 4 documents. I submitted 3 documents. I approved 2 of them on the back end as if I were Lori. You can see that they are approved. And then there's one that was rejected. And next to that document is a speech bubble. I can highlight over that and it's going to tell me what's wrong. And I put that it needed a Vic signature. So whatever notes Lori's going to give you will pop up next to each document. And it's going to show rejected. My listed folder shows as returned. Once I upload a new exclusive right to sell, I will then have the option to resubmit it to the market center for her approval. That is how the compliance process will go back and forth. Lori will be reviewing and approving the listed and under contract folders. And then Brenda, as the MCA, will be reviewing and approving the closed folder for the ALTA statement. And she will also be reviewing the commission request to pull over into her Winmore system. And we will look at the commission request tomorrow. That's what we will cover tomorrow.
Okay, I have a question that might seem pertinent since command is down. If I'm trying to do something, I'm supposed to originate it in command. If command is down, I can sign into my DocuSign and you just have to upload and download to get it back into command.
Correct. In the event that DocuSign is down command is down for an extended period of time and you had something that had happen right away, you could, yes, go to DocuSign directly and create a new room if you had to. You just will not be able to sync the transactions here in the dashboard. You would have to, like you said, download and then upload those documents. Or the other option that's is pretty easy for some, might be a little more for others until you get super comfortable with DocuSign. Once command is up and running, you could then initiate a new room from inside of command. And then you could just combine those 2 rooms or move the documents from the other room into that room, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you just have an empty room in DocuSign that will sync with command when you need it to.
Correct. Yeah. So then you have that room, and then you could just dump all the documents from the other
Like a
room into
temporary
that
room.
room. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So that would be your workaround.
Yeah, I figured there had to be a way to not have to redo everything, but since we've been having issues, and I generally do have issues with Command either being slow or not responding, I'm a little afraid of trying to do as much business as I need to do off this platform.
Reliability is getting stronger and stronger. So if you keep noticing consistent issues, please let me know, because it could be a pervasive issue. And that goes for everybody. Like if you're in Command, now granted, we're going to have some slowness every now and then, right? Like that's just a given. We're a growing platform that's ever changing. However, if you see consistent slowness or consistent downtime, please let me know. If I know of an outage, I'll let you know. If it is a pervasive issue or something that we don't know of yet from a corporate level, then we will report that so that they do know how pervasive it is. And the last time that happened on a large scale to where Josh's team actually came on and apologized to everybody was back in September when they first made this transition. Everybody was getting on and it was slowing everything down. It was taking a broker an average of 10 to 15 minutes to review one transaction. They've now gotten that down to less than a minute as far as load time goes. But there was such an issue. The only reason it got fixed is because everybody was reporting it. Because everybody reported it, they knew how pervasive it was, and that's why we got it fixed so quickly. And I think it was within 24 hours, they got the speed of documents cut into like thirds. And then within a week, you got it down to under 3 minutes. And then within a month, it was under a minute for load time. So just know that if there's issues, you're probably not the only one experiencing them. Please report them, and it will help us grow this platform faster. Also know that in this transition, corporate, because of the coronavirus, has scaled back. Now, scaling back, I wanted to explain what that means. Scaling back means they're not pushing out as many new features right now, but they are still focusing on making the system stronger and more efficient with the features that exist. So we're going to see new features roll out slightly slower, but all the existing features are going to continue to get stronger and faster. Any other questions? Because this is about what I've got today is the submission of documents for approval, how to attach those. And then tomorrow we'll go the next step. We will take our approved offer, submit an offer inside of Command so that it makes our commission tab go live, and we will submit a commission for payment request, which is what's replacing the green sheet. No other questions. Well, guys, thank you for being here. It is almost 4:30 on the nose. If any of you need to jump off, I'm done presenting content for today. I understand if you need to go take care of children or have some virtual listing appointments, whatever that may be. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the last day of Compliance in Command. Thanks for sticking with us throughout the week and adapting with us as we continue to grow and make things more efficient for everybody. If you need to stick around or want to stick around and continue to ask questions, please feel free to do so. I can hang out here for a little bit.
I just want to say a little thing, and Lori's still on here. I had a situation today, and it's very rare that I ever feel like I need a broker to answer much of anything. But I needed Lori today. She was there, and I hope we all realize how lucky and fortunate we are to have her, because she took a situation and freaking just handled it like a champ. And it just turned what was turning an opposite way into this perfect, calm situation. She was able to, she was siding with my seller, but at the same time, she was stating the law of what we could do, and she calmed them like a little pussycat, and they're all happy as can be, and we're moving forward with trying to fix the solution, but she's a rock star. I just think we need to be really appreciative of her because she's all that with a cherry on top. So I told her that already to her face, but I've got a crowd here that needs to hear that. So anyway.
I'm going to second that since I work in the Wild West. We've had some interesting conversations.
Well, it was like
She
I
just
said,
makes it like all okay.
she's got a way. She's strong and she's forceful about it, but she's also she was able to pull both sides of it together perfectly today, and I appreciate it beyond belief. So thank you, honey.
You don't have to say that. Thank you. That was really sweet. I'm glad I could help.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Have a great weekend, guys. Have a good Friday tomorrow.
I will see you tomorrow on Good Friday.
Yep. We're not going to have the morning mindset and stuff, but we'll still have these.